This is going to be so much fun. Chris, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate it. For those who are listening, Chris and I have been on a panel together. We're both in the trenches, deep in RevOps, and he has put together something that's going to be really awesome for everybody watching. A really unique way of using ChatGPT, where he built a custom GPT to automate and run a better deal desk. So I know that's a huge headache for a lot of companies, a lot of RevOps teams. And Chris, can't wait for you to show it off.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So, what we basically have done, let me share my screen really quickly. So, ultimately, about 50% of our sales directors, who are our account executives here, joined within the past year. I joined about a year and a half ago. And what we realized is we're getting a lot of questions and things about our pricing and packaging. We recently redid that with the consultancy. And so we had all this information in our knowledge base, but a lot of our team is on Slack. And that's really our main mode of communication. We do have email and other things, but some of the stuff that we've built out were deal rooms and automating the notifications, right? If we had contract unit allotment and they were going to be going over a certain volume, contractually, we have to notify them. At certain stages, adding a solutions architect or a solutions engineer and certain things like that. And so, one of the extensions of this, and especially as an AI company, leveraging AI to help. And so, what I ultimately did was with our Slack, we have the Slack Enterprise program. I added basically all of our documentation that we have. So we're really good at writing things down, exactly how to do everything. And then I basically gave it instructions and just said, your job, you're a deal desk expert. Your job is to analyze uploaded documents. It's to provide pricing and guidance and make sure that you're not making anything up. And then what we were able to do was take that, put that into its own GPT in Slack, and make it a program basically that anybody can ask questions to. And so some of the things that we've done here is, we give it some questions like, why do we need PCI compliance? We do screen recording, right, for quality management. And so we ask it, why do I need PCI compliance? And what it's going to do is it's basically going to look at our specific knowledge docs and say, this is what and this is why we need PCI compliance. And so, again, it's around security, it's around trust, it's around avoiding penalties, reputation. Somebody can then take that and respond back to the customer of like, hey, why did I need PCI compliance? Then I'm like, okay, so what is our DocuSign process? And based off of this, it's going to say, hey, this is exactly how you set it up. We'll even give you a snippet of like, instead of you having to write out exactly everything that you need to do, it'll share it for you and how we actually do it, from going to our filing email alias to everything. So, internal approval, we basically want to make sure that it gets stamped by our legal team. Customer then signs, we sign, and then make sure you add us as a CC'd. So I can say, what is the blurb I should write to the customer in the DocuSign process? And it should give you a little link to the blurb that you have. And there's quite a few other things too. I could share a couple other questions as well, but basically say, here's your blurb. So you just copy this and paste it. So speeds up time. It is one of the experts. Some of the other things that I've asked it is like, why do we need logo rights, right? It's super important for a company to make sure that you're able to share the customer logo. And so contractually, what is the reason that we're doing it? What is our implementation cost, and like how do we defend those, right? AI is very expensive to implement, much like CPQ, much like ERP systems. And so this is why PS costs seem high, but really what is it actually that you're getting? And then we have something called a Cresta expert, same thing. It's a Cresta employee that is the expert actually helping build those models. And so what is the pricing based off of it? What is the scoping that needs to be done? Opera is our AI model. Where is it included? And then I even check too to see, does it hallucinate? And saying, hey, when are we going to internationally expand to Germany? Right? No real plans to sell there yet. And so we actually have it test and make sure it's not hallucinating.
That's really smart. I know that's a big concern for a lot of people who are wanting to implement their own GPTs or building their own models, to make sure that, hey, it sticks to the policy, sticks to the book, doesn't create new rules. So, what would the workflow of a rep be? I know typically they would be working with a customer, managing an opportunity in Salesforce or a deal in HubSpot. Then, when they get to the time where they're ready to put together a proposal, do they come here first and start to build out some of that pricing and build that out with your team? Or is this more for your deal desk team to make sure before they give any recommendations, they can follow the right process?
This was initially built out for the Dealdesk team. Like basically, hey, what are all these questions that we have? It's in the documentation. Here's how to get it quickly. But then we have since actually built it to, it's going to be released to the team. We just ended our quarter last week. And so once this is fully vetted and able to be launched to the entire team, we have things like pricing calculators, which is like, can you share the link to the pricing calculator? And what is the pricing guidance for a deal? And what this should do is basically allow them to, we have an internal calculator that we've built for the team just to generally figure out what is the pricing and how do we actually do it. And again, because it's we have such long sales cycles and we have a lot of newer reps, some of them may not be doing this every single day. And so it's really just enforcing that training for them. So once this pops up, I could share with you the link that we have. And again, the way that we do it is on volume, right? What is the minutes that they're going to be using? What are the chats, as well as use cases? And then it goes down to the core specific products that we have. Here's their link. And this is our pricing calculator. And we say, what is it? Enterprise or strategic? You add in the program. And the program could be like their care voice team. You can add in the voice, you can add in the care, and then their volume, and then what specific products do they need, right? If it's behavioral guidance, AI summaries, maybe they want QM and insights, and then any of the add-ons that they could do, like screen recording or live notes. And based off of that, whatever the volume is, we're able to actually share a price and what is actually included. And this is like that. So you can actually see from our screen recording to our live notes to what each of these different modules are and what is the actual platform fee as well.
Very nice.
Yep.
No, that's super helpful just to get people in the right spot, get them the right information at the right time. One of the things when I know on my team, when we had Dealdesk, it was really important that we had some sense if what we were approving is a good deal or not. Do you have any comparisons to deals you've done in the past to see if, hey, if we move forward with this, this would be a good deal for us, or compared to other deals we've done, is this one, being too generous on discounting or something like that?
Yeah, so typically we have discounting thresholds that are given to the AE and then their AVP or the sales leader. And based off of that, those deals are typically good for us to actually sell. It comes to my team now to be more strategic if we do need to go deeper discounts or be creative. And so what it does is anything that is usually out of the box or something that we have a process for, ideally this GPT is going to solve for it. But then anything that is custom or requires our work, it allows us to work on more strategic things where we have more leverage of our time that can help, for the, Fortune 100 companies that we're going to be selling to.
Nice. And what did it take to get this up and running? How much work? What did it take to develop it? How are you training it? How are you making sure you're feeding the right data to it?
Yeah, it was actually really, really quick, which is surprising. We had an intern. He was ending his internship with us. He built another Slack app for the engineering team, and so I just posted in one of our channels. I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about building this. Like, can somebody work with me on it?" We already had all the documentation, which was great. And then what it was is I uploaded it into our GPT. We tested it. We said, okay, this actually works. And then I gave him basically the same information. He wrote a little bit of Python code, and then we were able to get the Slack app approved by our engineering team. It's actually really funny. We're very, very security focused here. And when I was downloading all the documents that I wrote, my security team, I got like 3 pings of people being like, hey, what are you doing? And then like, oh, this is actually really cool. Okay, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, I think he got it done within, like, we met, got it done within a week, and then we tested, validated, and it was good. And he ended his internship end of April. We kicked it off. I want to say it was like April 15th, and based off of that, I thought, yeah, it was super super fast. So yeah, so I kicked it off basically March 28th. We end of March talked about it. He was able to actually launch it April 7th, had these capabilities, had some questions on it, and then basically it was done April 14th. So like a
That's
2 week
amazing.
time. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. And how is your team managing some of these before, and what efficiencies have you seen since deploying?
It was all like every single question was a DM to us, and so we've stood up a channel. We added in Thena as our ticketing software to turn Slack messages into tickets. And so we push everybody to go to that or go to the deal rooms, which actually create tickets as well. But it was usually DMs and questions coming up on live conversations. And so being able to quickly get these answers, I think, really helps us out. And it's like it's factual too.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably just having the security, knowing it's answering things appropriately. Cool. What anything else that you want to show off with this particular module?
With this one, no. But before we went live with the enterprise version of GPT, there were several projects that I wanted to do, and so some of the next step things that we're going to be looking to do is like, can we actually have it review contracts for compliance? Right? There's tools such as Entra or even other CLM providers which actually do this. Could Salesforce actually do data entry and cleanup, right? Like our team spends a lot of time trying to basically go through and validate certain things, potentially even tracking competition, or hey, maybe standing up a GPT that allows us to compare tools if I need to buy new software, looking at account scoring models. And again, we have a lot of tools that we've purchased today that actually do this for us, but could we consolidate all to one specific, GPT solution to be able to solve this for us? And so I'm really excited of doing this. And even if we can pull in our Gong transcript information, being able to ask about deals and having that be a GPT, right? Just using that sort of information, so gets everybody really on the same page, and again allows us to do more with less, which I feel like is an initiative that RevOps usually runs with.
Oh, always, always tasked to do more with less. I'm sure this got your creative side moving quite a bit. I think just seeing, okay, here's a very specific use case of where I can build this and use it. Are there other areas of RevOps you're thinking of applying this type of GPT approach to?
Yeah. So it's like trying to be able to find accounts, like target accounts, was a key initiative that we looked at. And so there's certain signals that we realized from specifically organizations that are perfect for us, right? We sell to contact centers, and I feel like if we are looking at potentially open up new markets, or even with this brand new AI agent, right? Which is going to replace the press one for English, two for Spanish, right? Like actually having somebody picking up the phone, having a full on conversation with a voice AI agent that's fully autonomous. Are there other verticals, or are there other accounts that we are missing that could be perfect fit customers versus our old model of, hey, this is where we've done well? And so being able to like have a GPT that goes out and searches, our Salesforce database and says, hey, maybe even LinkedIn or any other data sources that we have, to say these are good fits for you, and then immediately surfacing it to the team. And I feel like a lot of, specifically when it comes to like even account research for our SDR team, they spend probably 3-4 hours researching an account. They have an account, they find the buying group, they look at their 10 Qs, and they look at their, maybe earnings reports, and they pull up the person and maybe see if they were part of podcasts, right? And all this information, maybe even customer complaints, right, on social media sites. And instead being able to surface all this information to an SDR to be able to have all that available to them, customize that email, have it actually be tailored towards them, personalized. But all that hours are research. Ideally, 50% of it, 60% of it is automated for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there are some point solutions that try to do some of the things you're saying, but in this way, you can customize it to exactly what you're looking for. So making
Exactly.
sure it's researching the things that you want to make sure they research, putting the data together in a way that has context of your business. So, hey, can you talk about, the types of products that would likely be a good fit? Since we've trained this GPT on our products in our company and what we do here, I think I think taking this custom approach can be a lot more powerful than buying a million point solutions. We're seeing them pop up every single day, especially in the
Yep.
go-to-market side. Um, but really, I think this helps give you a chance to tailor them to exactly what you need.
Exactly. Yep.
So, I'm curious, and I know people who listen to our podcast are always curious. How did you end up doing what you're doing, getting in the type of work that you're in? I would just love to hear the story.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of revenue operations people, it's probably by chance. I mean, revenue operations wasn't a thing until what, like 10 years ago or something like that. But long story short, like I was always an entrepreneur at heart. I think I was 7 years old. I was selling like sodas and waters. Right, I lived by a golf course, and so all the golfers and stuff would come by. And one day, one of my dad's friends goes, "Hey, do you have a beer?" I go, "No, I don't have a beer." And he goes, "I'll give you $5 if you go." My house was like right up the hill. If you run up and get it.
Well, in that
And
case,
sure
I'll find one for you.
yeah, $5, heck yeah. So this is the early '90s, and basically sold him the beer. My dad found out, and that was the end of that business, right? But being able to be creative and doing those sorts of things. I mean, I'm sure you see my 3D printer. I've always was like taking apart VCRs, figuring out how stuff works. I went to school ultimately for engineering in Santa Barbara, and realized that having a time commitment and being able to also like have fun was counterproductive to each other. And so, but what I did find was this: it was this certificate program that came out of the engineering department called technology management, and I got to learn from new product introduction to marketing, like learning from a Procter and Gamble executive that was like dedicated launderers, right? This is our ICP. So learning all these sort of things. And then learning like accounting specifically for like real estate investment. So it was like really cool things that opened my eyes to tech way back in the day. And then the recession hit in 2009. And so I graduated, didn't know what I was going to do, saw sales development, and I was like, okay, I'll try this out. Hated it. It's like, okay, well, I like real estate. So I'm going to go get my license, got my license, realized it was just smiling and dialing the same thing as our SDRs do, right? And so I give a lot of respect to SDRs still to this day when they give me a call. But then I found from talking to one of my high school buddies, he was going to San Jose State. This is the rise of mobile, right? This is like 2011, 2012.
Mm.
And mobile applications, specifically games, was like this brand new thing that was like, getting larger. And he was actually studying Japanese in college, and he was localizing these games for these developers. And I was like, oh, this is a great idea. And so chatting with him, we built a company. It was called Crowdlation. Um, Through that process, it was a big learning. If I were to like redo it today, I think there would be a lot of things that I would change. But I got to meet quite a few people that were in the tech space, and ultimately, I found a mentor who was a CFO. That after that company folded, I went to my company folded. I went to go work for him, and he taught me basically. I didn't realize it, but learning project management, learning like technical writing, all these skills that like an operations professional should have. I started with owning business operation or business systems, sorry, and learning Salesforce and building all these sort of tools, and you know ripping and replacing our CPQ vendor and all that sort of stuff. And so he ultimately passed away, unfortunately. And I do have he always had a little memento on his desk. So I have that to think of him. And then I found my current manager at another company after I spent 5.5 years at that company and joined him. he left to join Cresta. And so I was like, what am I going to do? There's a rise of AI. So I was like, oh, there's this cool tool, Otter AI. Decided to go join them. And then I think 2 years on the dot, he actually called me back. And so I've been here for a year and a half. So,
Need you back. Need you
yep.
home. No, that's great. And like you were saying at the beginning, it's never really linear, but you pick up all these skills along the way that I think can help you be a really good operator. And especially starting your own business, I think that's you get to learn everything if you're there at the beginning. So
Yeah.
I think that leaves a mark on anyone. Well, Chris, this has been really, really awesome. I appreciate you sharing what you're building. Appreciate you sharing your story as well. And I would love to have you back as soon as you start cranking through some of those other projects and deploying those. I think anybody listening would be really interested to hear creative ways of how you're building your own models and deploying them in really specific RevOps cases. I think we have so many tools that are built for sales, for
Mhm.
marketing, for customer success that we run and operate, but not as much that's built for us. And I like that you're showing how people can do that for themselves.
I agree. Yeah. I think there's a select few of us in the world. There's only a finite number of RevOps professionals, and us being able to build tools for ourselves is probably the right way to do it. I don't know if there's going to be some startups that do this for us, right? Given the TAM is probably not that large, but yeah, if we have this, we're able to enable it. I think why not just build it?
I think it's a hypercritical group to build something for too. I think if you built anything for a RevOps community, they'd be picking it apart and saying how they would have built it better, or they would just take it and then build their own thing. So I know if anybody's out there looking to build a tool for RevOps, just builder beware. But at least I love the roadmap to build our own stuff. So thanks, Chris, so much. I appreciate it, man, and happy building to you. And can't wait to see what you do next.
Awesome. Yeah, look forward to it.
Thank you.